I've never had this happen before. The translucent silhouette of a winged female warrior glows softly. You brought us back to waking. Greetings. Who are you? Not who. What? Memories. This place was created as a cradle of memory and fantasy. The things that belonged to the city's heroes were kept here. People used to come to this place to remember those heroes, and myself and the others are living memories. You woke us, so here we are. Lots of things seem silent only until you care to listen to them. Like here, someone's memories has awoken to reveal itself to us. Yes, little one, and I have no doubt that the birds in the streets converse with you too, and the trees and the flowers, and even certain lampposts. And I am sure this occurs regularly. For me, alas, such wonders only occur after a week-long bacchanalia, and conversations don't go very far. I used to come here with when the mood took me. The exhibits here are meager, no doubt, and cannot compete with the museums in the capital, but all the same, I find this place to be a calming refuge away from the bustling city. That's so interesting. Like, once again, though, this is just Darren's character overall. You think he's going to be an ass, and then he can't. He can't be an ass to Ember. Like, he still has his snarkiness, and that's Darren, and it's never going to go away, and I love that about him. Very much so, because I like snark, but he can't. He calls her a little one, and that's not a sign of disrespect in my mind when it comes to Darren. That's actually Darren literally kind of being like dad. Darren definitely has like big dad energy when it comes to Ember. I'm here for it. Actually, there's only like three characters, maybe four, that I feel like don't have like big parent energy when it comes to Ember. And I'm all kinds of here for it. I really and truly am. Okay. So your memories of who? Of the heroes the city wished to immortalize. Go, touch a memory and see how they remembered us. After all, this place was created so that our names would never disappear into the mists of history. There used to be a place like this in Neatholm. Quiet, calm. I used to walk among the plinths and pedestals wondering, the people who founded this place, what was driving them? Were they thinking about future generations, how to pass down their wisdom and show the right path? Or were they thinking of themselves, trying to keep their names and deeds alive? But then the ceiling collapsed and the place didn't exist anymore, so my question was moot. I wish I could say that we have not dishonored your memory, but Canabras lies in ruins, and But you fearlessly battle the invaders with no thought for yourself. You have earned no censure. We're proud of you. Right. In the olden days, mortal kinds lost to demons time after time after time, and now their descendants are continuing their losing streak. How could they not be proud of I mean, that's the thing though, right? Like, it almost comes off what the vision of Targona is saying. It is more like false platitudes kind of thing. Like, we're proud of you. You're still fighting the invaders. And it's like, yeah, we lost to the demons originally and we keep losing to them. And how could you not be proud of that kind of thing? Like, I do agree with Muljiff in that one. I sensed something in you, as if you're close to me somehow, like we stood shoulder to shoulder once in the face of evil, and that we must do so again. I sense the light dwells within you. Very recently you were threatened by a powerful demon, and the dark bloodlust tried to invade your soul. But you opposed it and held fast. Continue to follow the path of light, and other righteous souls will aid you, and follow. Thank you. Farewell. And the power that gives this semblance of life is running out, and soon we will once again be but memories, living only in words, pictures, and songs. So, okay, so those are those. I want to go downstairs and see if downstairs is still a thing. So, Yanel, we will stand shoulder to shoulder against the evil and Elandra. Clouds may veil the stars, nothing can hide in someone's soul. Okay, and what is this? Yanel by a fountain, presumably painted from life over the summer of 4637, 1 year before heroic death during the Battle of Dresden. More details in the museum almanac. Okay, there's a museum almanac. Clouds may veil the stars, but nothing can hide the light in someone's soul, and I see this light in you. Okay, so this door should open now? Oh, locked from the inside. Okay, that's what it is. So, what does it say for the Tower of Estrada? Demons occupying have been killed. Airbeth will be delighted to hear that one of the demon strongholds in the city has been destroyed. So does that mean the attack for Defender's Heart isn't gonna happen now, or what? I'm very confused. Actually, though, the funny thing is, because I did it this way, we kind of missed out on some fun dialogue with Faxon.
Is that a trap? It might be a trap.
It could be, but instead it's just a shield. So I do think that that's an interesting, I don't want to say consequence, because it's not necessarily a consequence. Well, I mean, it technically is a consequence of it, but I do find that to be interesting. Just it's not going to be quite the same now. I was actually kind of looking forward to the dialogue, because it's pretty witty with Faxon, if I remember correctly. But this was also really interesting. Why am I pushing the column, Lan?
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome.
Thanks, Lan. Oh, is that a way that you could attack, potentially? I don't know, but I found that to be hilarious. I don't know why I did that, but I did. Okay, well, let's come back down here. So we should go down. Oh, you know what? Let's quickly make sure there's nothing over here. I don't think there is. No, nothing? Anything? Nope. Perfect. Let's go to the basement then. I wonder if everything's still there. Probably. I can't imagine it's not. Like, I don't think anything in that regard's changed. Okay, good. This cutscene is happening. I was really worried it wouldn't. A pale and frightened half-elf looks at you warily, his face twisted into a grimace like he just ate something slimy. Hey, who are you? Praise Baphomet. What are you doing here? Did Faxon send you? I heard a noise outside, but I was busy making a list of relics. Did something happen? Who are you? I'm Telmer, the scribe and senior aide to Lord Xanthier. Oh, honestly, I feel like you have to go back and play this game again after you finish or not even like finish a complete playthrough, but get through like huge portions of the game, because then so much more makes sense after. Like this, Xanthier the Plagued One, and this makes so much more sense. Do forgive me, but Faxon has been assigned to this command, has he not? Where is he? What are you doing here? I'm compiling a list of valuable Crusader artifacts. Lord Xanthier has ordered that everything of use be transported from Canabris and saved from the looting and destruction. We chose the museum as a place to collect and sort through the trophies. Unfortunately, local thieves have proved even quicker off the mark than the demons. They ransacked the museum in the first few hours of the assault, but there are some objects of interest among the exhibits they left behind. The museum custodian has been kind enough to advise me on those, but where is Faxon? Finest thieves in Mendev, turn your back and everything that isn't nailed to the floor will be gone when you turn around again. Demons have no chance against him. Master of our trade we are. There you go, bragging again, dummy. Thieving has never led to anything but harm, trust me. If you fought the way you thieve, now that might be useful. No thanks, every person has their calling and this is mine. But imagine if you fought as well as we thieve. If you don't actually pay attention to that last sentence, you won't understand it. Like, it'll happen too fast that it just kind of goes over your head kind of thing. But imagine if you fought as well as we thieve. Like, that's such a smackdown. That's like almost like, I call them kind of like underhanded grandma back, you know, slap down kind of things. Because like grandmas, they're like so good at like saying something in a way that you're like, oh yeah, no, wait, what did you say? You know what I mean? My grandmother was like that. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It's so good. Oh, Woljeff. I love him so much. So where is the museum custodian? Over in the gallery. I deceived him, told him I was a crusader. It wasn't difficult. The old geezer's out of his mind. So tell me, where is Faxon? You should clear off before I kill you. The half-elf pitches forward and then grabs his bag and leaps away from you. You're lying. You want me to turn away so you can strike me in the back and take the papers that have been entrusted to me. The half-elf leaps nimbly, pulling a sheaf of paper from his bag as he goes, no, I have valuable letters from Lord Xanthier here. I must destroy them. The cultist balls the pages up in his fist and shoves them into his mouth and then begins furiously chewing like a hamster. A moment later, his eyes bulge and he opens his mouth, which is stuffed with masticated paper. He tries to cough, but nothing comes out. The failed saboteur looks at you in desperation. His eyes are streaming. His face is growing paler by the second, and he falls to his knees. A strangled wheeze emerges from behind the wad of wet paper. His expression veer from the hilarious to the grotesque as he signals for you to help. You want some salt and pepper with that? No, I've never tried eating paper myself, but a little seasoning goes a long way, whatever the meal. Confiture. The perfect accompaniment for paper is apricot confiture. Confiture. How do I know this? An excellent question. As a child, I once ate a piece of my exercise book in front of my horrid music teacher, just to spite her. All right, we'll help him. Digging your fingers deep into the hapless half-elf's throat, you retrieve the disgusting ball of soggy paper. I can't just leave him. He coughs violently, and then after taking a trembling breath, leaps up and takes off running. He disappears, leaving with you a wad of correspondence that is much worse for the wearer. That's disgusting, but at least we did it. I don't know if I've ever been able to just, like, leave him. This has to be the custodian's room, I think. Okay, so this is a book on angels. What is this book on? The Almanac. Interesting. So that's that. Anything hidden that I need? No? Okay. I feel like the last couple times I came here, I kind of rushed through it. Copper vessel and the oil inside were sanctified by Raelus, the priest of Iomade. Faithful Crusader. Item was donated. More details in the Almanac. So what is this one? Helmet belonged to Bathista Circosia, Prolictor of the Order of the Gate. One of the first Hell Knights to serve his duty as Crusader. Interesting. And then what about this one? Dragon Claw taken from Tarendelev, the Silver Dragon and Protector of Canabras. It was cut off by the demons when Tarendelev has heroically saved a group ambushed. This was donated. And then lastly, the once famous mage, Zacharias, who made his name during the heroic and tragic siege of the Lost Chapel. Item was donated to the museum by Zacharias' apprentice mage, Teldon. So you already learn a little bit about some of these, like, important people, which is really interesting. Let's save. Okay. So you can just rob them blind and, wait. Teldon! Wait. Hold on, I'm confused. Teldon was his apprentice. Was Zacharias' apprentice? Interesting. The old man looking around absent-mindedly shrinks away as you get closer. His head seems to shake uncontrollably, but his hands are surprisingly deft and assured as they level a magic wand. You stay back! Which are you, robber or demon? Hey, take it easy, Gramps. So that's the way it is, eh? You see horns and you think thief or demon? Quit scaring the old man, dummy. Have you seen your horns? How should I put this? Don't exactly inspire trust in a city that's currently overrun with demons. Hey, there are horns, and then there are horns. Thank you, Lan. Like, hey, I hate that Sela calls him dummy. I really and truly do. Because somebody like Woljif, you can tell that he has a really hard time seeing himself as worth anything more than the thiefling that he is currently, right? You can tell, even just from the brief conversations that we've had with him, that his upbringing obviously was not easy. Obviously, he never saw himself as worth really anything in a variety of ways. So Sela calling him dummy all the time isn't going to do anything. Like, it doesn't actually help him. It doesn't help turn his life around. And I think that that's kind of almost what Sela is trying to do. Like, you kind of get the impression that she's trying to show him a quote-unquote different way of being, given her past, and trying to show him, like, the light of Iomade, for a lack of a better anything. So, but I don't think that this actually it helps. Like, somebody like Woljif, this would just make them dig in their heels. You know what I mean? And so for Woljif, though, at the same time, he's been hurt over and over and over again. Every time somebody sees him, sees the fact that he has horns and everything like that, just thief or demon, that's it. They don't see him as anything more. He couldn't possibly be a good person. He couldn't possibly be anything more than a thiefling or a thief or a demon. He couldn't just be Woljif. He couldn't just be a good person. And so I think that this line says a lot. And then the fact that Sela can't see that and understand that also says a lot about Sela. Also, Lan is just hilarious. I'm not gonna hurt you. The man goggles at you in terror. He doesn't lower his wand. A rustling comes from somewhere behind him. Rats. The old man wheels around fearfully and peers in the direction the sound came from. The hand holding the wand gradually falls to his side. When he turns back to you, there's no fear in his expression, only vague confusion. I'm sorry, I was distracted. What were we talking about? Who are you? I think His expression goes distraught and mournful, as though he's on the verge of crying. I forget. His gaze falls to a piece of cloth carefully stitched to his cloak that reads, Teldon, Tower of Estrad Museum Custodian. Ah! I'm Teldon, the custodian here. My memory isn't what it was. My faculties are failing me. But at one time, my mind could cut like a diamond. I was a battle mage, one of the few who survived the Battle of the Lost Chapel. I'm an old man. Now, sometimes I set down my keys one moment and the next I can't remember where I put them. With a pleased smile, the old man pulls a hefty set of rings from his pocket. Keys from his pocket. Proudly shows them to you. Here they are, my keys, my little lovelies. I'd never give you to anyone. Remembering himself, he hastily stows the keys in his pocket. The Lost Chapel! This old fellow was there? That his mind was damaged isn't surprising. What's surprising is that the old codger can still speak at all. And the entire history of the Crusades, which aren't exactly uplifting. This is one of the bloodiest chapters. Some time ago, I wanted to know what became of the abandoned fortification and estates the Crusaders left behind. I read through some of the accounts of the Lost Chapel veterans. That was a real bloodbath. Once again, it's really interesting that he's not being sarcastic or flippant or mean or anything like that to this guy, right? Like, you almost get like he respects him. This man, this old man in front of us, survived that. And the fact that you could consider this to be one of the bloodiest Crusader battles, or just chapters in its history, is saying something, given the history of the Crusades. So, I don't know. I just find that interesting. What are the keys for? Oh, these keys are for everything. I can open every door in the Tower of Estrad with these. The museum custodian on duty must carry the keys at all times and never be parted from them, not even for a second. And why is that? Because if the keys were left unattended, they would be pinched by thieves, wouldn't they? Thieves who'd strip the museum of all of its treasure. What are you all looking at me like that for? Woljif exclaims indignantly, even though no one is looking at him. I'm not looking at you like that, Woljif. Trust me, I'm not. I promise. Looking at you like a different way. What? I see. The old man affectionately pats his pocket containing the bunch of keys. What happened here? First, the bell started ringing, and then there were noises in the streets. Then the dragon, Lady Trendlev, began to roar. I went to lock the door, but they were already inside, the thieves. There were 7 of them, or perhaps 10, I don't remember. But they were talking some rubbish about how they were all orphans, supposedly, and that they were dangerous. They grabbed me and wouldn't let me go, and then they looted the place. They took anything with even a lick of gold. Relics, too. The museum boasts an extensive collection, you know, and worst of all, they even took the wand. And when they were done, they tossed me aside like a piece of old junk. They didn't even bother to kill me. He looks at you with an affront and anguish in his eyes. Are you all right? And the poor old man smiles and makes a helpless gesture. Old age, my young friend. Old age and the poison of fear seeping into my mind. It's interesting that he uses the poison of fear. Like, that's a really good line. Both have turned me from Crusader and Battle Mage into the sorry specimen you see before you. This museum is all I have. Whenever I forget who and where I am, I just read the exhibit labels. They are of the past just like me. Now some ruffians have ransacked the place. I'm frightened. I'm very frightened. Don't be afraid, the girl whispers. There's nothing to be afraid of. All the scary things have already happened. They're in the past. The old man nods but continues his agitated motion. Scary, so scary. Will you tell me about the exhibits? It would take a lifetime to tell you all that there is to know, but I'll take you on a tour of the highlights, some of my personal favorites. You should have looked for yourself. You won't regret it. For instance, we have a painting here depicting angels fighting demons. Now, you may find it hard to believe, but in the First Crusade, many heavenly beings fought shoulder to shoulder with the Crusaders. These 2 paintings are Targona and Larial, the Silver Twins, as they were called. That's why she said that upstairs, why there was something in us that called to her. It's because we have the light of her twin. I actually met them, you know, when I was a young man studying under Master Zacharias. They had no airs or grace about them. They walked among the mortals. They spoke to us. They healed our wounds. Lady Targona I remember especially well. She had a special unearthly wisdom about her. The angel Larial, on the other hand, was known for his daring, and the youngest Crusaders idolized him. I wonder where they are now, the twins. We don't have any celestial beings in our ranks anymore. They all left sometime during the Second Crusade. On a very important mission, they say, but I do love looking at this painting and remembering those days when the envoys of heavens walked among us, and the light that seemed to shine from within them. What was I saying? You must be the messenger, yes? Or are you a visitor? Why did those times end? Why did the Celestials not fight with us still? Heaven has not abandoned us, surely. Heaven is above us, far, far away. Everyone there is good, I heard, but they can't see us from all the way up there. You said that the angels, Targona and Larial, are twins, but how can angels have siblings? That's a good question. Of course, angels are not born like mortals. So they can't have a mother and a father, or sisters and brothers as we understand them. Angels come into being from reincarnated souls, or from the pure essence of the upper planes. Sometimes angels may adopt some features of mortals. For instance, they can identify as male or female, although that's not generally their way. Some of them can also develop bonds of camaraderie or even kinship, but in the case of the Silver Twins is rarer still. They are two angels who emerged from one soul. What else could they call themselves if not twins? The old man smiles, seemingly satisfied with his speech, but within moments his vacant expression is placed back in place. Awareness gone from his eyes. What wand did the thieves steal? The wand of Zacharias, my master. He was a great man, the hero of the defense of the lost chapel. And those scoundrels took his wand. A relic! Ballads are sung about Zacharias, and they're just damned thieves. Master Zacharias will return, and he will assemble all of us, his students, and I'll show them what a battle mage Teldon is made of. Fury sparks in the old man's eyes. His spine straightens in a fluid motion. His hands raise his wand to the ready, but a howl of rage comes from outside, frightens off the ghost of the past. The old man turns around and looks at you in befuddlement. You were just asking me about something. I forget what it was. Where can I find these robbers? The old man throws up his hands. I haven't the foggiest. They're thieves. They know out of the way places that they won't be found. That's where they are, if they're still alive, but they won't be in the city. I heard them talking among themselves about how they need to get out of Canabris before the demons wipe them out. You should go to Defender's Heart. There are good people there and they'll look after you. The old custodian gives you a toothless smile. Really? It's safe there? But how can I leave the museum? His gaze falls upon the traces of the ransacking, becomes lost in thought as though trying to find an explanation for what he's seeing. You know what happened here, don't you? Thieves, they were prowling about, wanted to rob the museum, but I stopped them. Those ne'er-do-wells came in here and I gave them, what for? A dose of battle magic. They won't come back. Don't you worry about me. I may be old, but I can still hold my own. Why did the demons spare you? Demons? There have been no demons in this museum. I heard them breaking into the tower. But then everything went quiet. And then a very polite young fellow came along, a half-elf. He said Canabris was under attack, but the Crusaders had already recaptured the tower. He said he'd been sent overseas to see the oversee the evacuation. He was very pleased to find me here. I proved a very useful resource. I showed him all the most valuable relics, explained what they were, and he wrapped them up, labeled them, and carried them off somewhere. And I've been here all this time. I locked the doors to guard to make sure no demon got in, but I've not seen one of them. Haven't heard from them either. I've grown hard of hearing over the years. Oh, what if I tell him that? I feel like that's cruel, but at the same time... If you tell him that though, right? Like, we took care of it. The demons aren't coming back. And everything. And it's not like anything is contingent upon him knowing this information. And I feel like he's already been through enough. And it would almost be needlessly cruel. But at the same time, what if telling him could help us know what artifacts Xanthier got his hands on? I don't even know if all of them have been fully shipped out yet. A lot of them were still just cataloged. We're gonna do it. He was a demon worshiper. What do you mean, demon worshiper? That fine young lad, so well dressed, so polite, but he said the Crusaders. Oh my word, the relics, we must go after them. He works himself into a state, bitterly lamenting as he roots through many pockets, but the outburst doesn't last long. The motion of his hand slowly, awareness fades from his eyes. He stares off into the distance and wets his lips and sheepishly inquires, sorry, did you say something? I guess it wasn't necessarily needlessly cruel because he can't remember. So there is that. I was curious, though, if there was something else that he could tell us or someplace else that expanded to, or if, like, companions had something. But I think in the future, I wouldn't necessarily bring that up again. The old man's bewildered gaze follows you as you go. So, yeah. I don't know if I've ever taken his conversation all the way. I do wish you could send him to Defender's Heart. Like, I really and truly do. I wish you could get him out of there. I wish you could keep him safe. I don't want to take the man's keys from him or anything like that. They're not ours. Okay, what a mess. Everything will have to be cleaned up and laid out according to the inventory list. Poor guy. Okay, so that's everything here as we loot and ransack the place. But still! Oh, Jeff.
Pretty good, aren't I?
Yeah, you're the best.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes?
I need everybody out here.
My tail is restless.
I know.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Probably both. Wolja? Oh, right, we're paused. I was like, why isn't that working? You hit the pause button, Plex.
This is my kind of work.
Okay, there's that
My
one.
tail is twitching. Must
Your
be a
tail
sign.
keeps twitching, Wolja.
This is my kind of work.
Okay. This. Okay.
Pretty good, aren't I?
You're the best. What is that? I don't know if anybody can use that. I kind of wanted to play as a Slayer one day with a character that could use stuff like that. I don't know if that's actually viable or not, but one day maybe. I do have plans to do like my own playthrough at some point, like off stream and off YouTube. But so busy, no time. But I also kind of wanted to restart Kingmaker soon. I don't know if I'm going to do that on stream or not.
This is my kind of work.
Ooh, magic essence. Like, it's something that I've definitely debated on. I just don't know, A, if I have the time, but B, Kingmaker also feels a little old at this point with all the
This
upgrades
is my kind of work.
that came with Wrath. But there are a lot of mods that kind of fix some of that too. So it makes me curious to like fully mod out Kingmaker and then and see how it feels. Ooh. Okay. I think that's everything. Is there anything else I'm missing? I think we've kind of ransacked the place. And unfortunately, you can't get him to see reason and leave. So I guess we're gonna go. At this point, we can just head back to Defender's Heart, right? And get started on the battle? I can't think of anything else that, like, should get done before that. I don't think I've ever done this much before the fight for Defender's Heart. Which means that we are super leveled, which is really nice. But now I'm kind of curious what Erebeth is gonna say. Because we did that, and like if the battle's gonna be as bad as it was originally. Alright, the angels. So Larial had like a twin, but not a real twin, but like a twin. Like as much of a twin as an angel can get, which is kind of cool. It would explain some things. Okay, so let's then... So I can't do that. I don't want to do Towie Pass Solution, or like this all is like near each other kind of thing. So like these three should just be done together. Woldrift thing, it doesn't matter if you do it before or after. After like everything. So I'm just gonna... Lost Bag is right next to that. We'll have to do later. Like after like the Tiefling Hideout and stuff like that. So let's just, I guess, head back. We'll see what happens.